interested in giving a lecture, a presentation about naturalism, right? That's what it is? Yeah, naturalism. And we're going to use the platform that we've built and the network that we have to invite multiple churches to come listen to this 17-year-old girl talk about naturalism and its effect on the church. And, you know, we want to encourage young people to think critically. So
yeah, and this is, so you guys know, this is basically a follow-up and a more fleshed out version of what the October cross-examination was. So if you recall, it was, you know, the younger people talking about that month's topic. So this is a more fleshed out and streamlined version of that. Excuse me. And then there's going to be a closed Facebook group where there's discussion that's happening on any number of things, where basically people can go and feel free to discuss these things and debate these things. And yeah, and obviously that's going to be monitored as well. It's not just Wild West of thoughts and ideas being thrown out there. So
right, and I've asked the Beasts of Burden thread, so the pastors to monitor it with us, and so it's going to be basically young people, but there'll be pastors available on hand in the closed Facebook group to answer questions or to help remain biblical. So
yeah, so the long and short of it is, like James is overseeing the 50 plus and everything revolving around them, I'm going to be overseeing 50 minus and things revolving around those different ministries. So
yeah, so then Colin is going to be moving to building. You want to talk about that, y'all? No? Yes?
I'm just going to be more or less stepping into James's position so he can focus more on different ministry avenues in that. But just obviously I stepped into the electrician field department, and that's solidly in the middle of construction in general and all those things, and so just trying to provide a united front with as many resources as we can bring to the table, and I intend on working on my skills as far as actively coordinating the structure of that department. So we're coming into this new year, like James and John and I and maybe a couple other people are going to be meeting and sort of fleshing out the details of what that's going to look like coming into this next year with the new administration at hand and big changes. So there you go. But we got plenty to do. We just need to get after it.
Yeah, and Colin also handles the finances of the church, and he's looking for help with that. So if you are somebody who thinks that you handle finances well, and you feel called to help us handle finances, and you are ready to work in a veritable storm of having, never knowing what you're going to get this month or next month, but still operating outside of budget and still all of these things. If you're willing to do the work, Colin is willing to train you. So talk to him if that's something that you are interested in. I don't know why you would be other than calling, so if God has laid it on your heart. So also, let's see where. So I'm going to then push back. I've been systematically pushing back from every resource that I've built. And so part of that is no longer being with the outsiders. Not that I won't be around, but I've been doing that, pushing back in a way so that I can focus more on teaching and counseling and networking. These are the things that I need to do. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be pushing toward that. And so part of that is on Thursdays, Michaela and I have developed a ministry where we are going to ask you if it's okay to come over to your house and eat pie with you. It's called Pie with Your Pastor. And we'll bring a pie, you can provide the ice cream, and we'll come have pie with you and just hang out for an hour and talk about whatever you want to, just so that we can be on the same page and fellowship together. Because quite honestly, that sort of ministry needs to happen, and it's been hard to do. So I want to really try to make that happen. So Pie with Your Pastor.
There's a great flyer on the board, and if you have questions, you can talk to Michelle.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So Pie with Your Pastor, that's happening. Now, as Brittany just alluded, Kelsey is going to be joining the internal ministries team. She's kind of playing, she's kind of playing the role that Jasmine plays. We're going to expect more of her because she has more work experience, and she's older and quite frankly better. And but she's going to play that on the internal ministry side. So basically, there's a lot of responsibilities that both Heidi and Shayla have done in terms of ministry, where they're the point of contact on all these different things. It's time to start transitioning that into a new generation. And so Kelsey's going to play that role. So she's going to be your point of contact for a lot of different things, and she's going to be the one that you are going to be checking in with on a lot of things. She's going to be checking in with you, and you should expect to see a lot more of her in that way. And I also want to add that that's faith and sacrifice on her part, because to do that, she is going to really ramp down how much she works so that she can volunteer here, and she's trusting that she'll be taken care of. For those of you who don't know, that's the same thing that Heidi did. It's the same thing that Justine does. It's the same thing that Jasmine does. And obviously Shayla, and not to mention the eldership of James. He doesn't even take a paycheck. I sometimes complain or bring up the fact that I only make $5.50 a month. James doesn't even make anything. So, and he works 2 jobs because he works there and here. So anyway, so the CRC is going to be doing some stuff. The Abandoned Initiative has talked about tiles. We're really excited about. We're also talking with other churches right now about doing a Vacation Bible College instead of Vacation Bible School. And we'll help them out with that, but we want to target older kids who are interested in learning about their Bible and how to take it more seriously. So we're talking with Prince of Peace and possibly Woodstock about building a Vacation Bible College. We are talking actively with Woodstock about doing a youth group integration. They're interested in how we do I shudder to call it youth group because it's not really a youth ministry, it's more of a discipleship ministry. But anyway, they're interested in how we do that. And they want to learn from that, and they want to integrate the 2 youth groups together. So that's awesome. For the church, we are talking about doing something I call X training. But really, it's time for us to re-up our training. So that means teaching everybody all the things that the leadership has been taught over the course of the years, getting everybody on the same page, and that type of training will be available for you. It's going to deal with all sorts of stuff. Everything from RED, which is relational education development. It's the mindset of how the church deals with educating people, to a more standardized version of crib theory, so not what I taught in my sermon, but an actual thing you could take and look at the notes of. It's also going to deal with some stuff you picked up in foster care training, with parenting and love and logic, and with dealing with people in crisis and prevention and intervention. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to be doing with that to get people on the same page, and that's an opportunity for you. And then, lastly, so last year in 2018, we worked on updating our website. Oh, you know what? I forgot that. Where is that? Oh yeah, here it is. So I got Justine Adams to join outside leadership. Kelsey joins internal ministry, and Brittany rejoins the staff now as the deacon of identity development, or something like that. One of the things that we recognize about Brittany is that she works tirelessly behind the scenes to make everything correct in terms of the articulation of the church. And In other words, things need to look a certain way so that the church comes off the way that it actually is. And that's Brittany's responsibility. And so all the flyers she's responsible for, Archaeo she's responsible for, all of these, like a ton of stuff that you don't realize. Whether it's, well, not that, but
I outsource that.
and not that, which isn't there anymore. But whether it's the logo designs, whether it's what you saw on the screen during the Christmas Eve service, or whether it's the ballots that you have, all that stuff is run through Brittany. She makes all of that happen. And so it's one of these things where in most churches, you don't have a person who fulfills that responsibility. It's just sort of hodgepodge and volunteered out. But we recognize that it is a actual thing, that it's something that we could not do without with the way that we operate. And so Brittany is officially a deacon now, and official as of 2019. She's part of the diaconate. And so she comes back as part of that, which means ABFID now becomes an arm of the church. It's run by the deacon of identity development. So, anyway, okay. Sorry to leave that out, right? Okay, so we updated the web. That was one of the things that we did this year, was we updated to a more modern take on our website and made it more friendly. And made it so that our core beliefs are better defined. And then the other thing we did was we integrated, you've probably heard this a lot this year, a 3-tiered focus on what it is that we as a church have as identity. And that 3-tiered focus is, firstly, that we focus on the local church, on doctrine, and on scripture. You've heard us say that multiple times over. That is our focus. That was something that was instituted at the end of 2017 and really put into play in the website and the material and the way we speak and in ACES and all these different things that we built. So that's what we did last year, in grounding people in church, doctrine, and scripture. So this year, we are going to begin to reform the church's understanding of leadership. And that leads us to our sermon series this year. We're going to be dealing with leadership, legacy, and beauty. How it is that we preserve beauty in the tension. So, I want to talk just briefly about what we're going to be discussing over the coming months, and it will be very brief. We're just going to kind of let you know. But I do want to take the time to make it clear, like our thought process, just like we reformed the focus last year, we are going to reform the understanding of leadership, to return it. So these are the 3 things. To return it to the biological structure as an agent of the greater church. So this relies on crib theory, right? That we want to take it and put the responsibility of the church, we want to make it clear that the responsibility of the biological family is to feed the larger understanding of the universal church, right? And so that means, here's a practical outworking of it. That it is not the responsibility of those who take care of our youth to be training our kids in the ways of the Lord. It's their responsibility to help with that, right? To help bolster a parent's job. Now we realize that that's going to be difficult because some of you, that's all that you've known, is that if you want your child to grow up faithful, you essentially give them to church daycare, right? And then they grow up faithful because they had a good Sunday school teacher, right? Well, we want to redo that. We want to reform that thinking because that thinking is not biblical. And so the leadership needs to be in the home. And so that means we're going to then equip you to teach your children. And some of you haven't ever thought that way, haven't been taught that way. And so this is our intent, is to give you a way to teach your children so that we can help you as opposed to take it over for you. Because this is our way of taking seriously the biological family. So that's one of the things. The other is we want to create a more discipling education process, right? To teach you how to be disciples. And the last one is to create a better understanding of leadership here at ABF. If we can do all of these things, if we can reformat the way that it's supposed to be and make it more biblical, then you guys will have a better understanding of leadership here at ABF, and we will have a better relationship with you. So, it's a big undertaking. It's a really big undertaking. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to preach and teach and work and shepherd, and we would like your grace in that, and here is what the preaching schedule looks like. Anybody have that pulled up? Okay. Well, I can tell you that the first, so as is normal, next week I'm going to be giving a sermon that sort of outlines the whole understanding of leadership. It's going to be a complete redefinition of leadership, probably for most of you. And then we're going to go into talking about leadership in general. And so the first thing we're going to be talking about in leadership is going to be what is false leadership. In other words, what is a false prophet? What is a false teacher? What is not deserving of your submission or allegiance? So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Anybody else want to go? Colin, you can.
I can rattle off.
Colin, you're the next one right there.
Next month, February, is me. Next month, February, is me, and I'll be talking about calling. Focus question: how does a leader know that they're a leader, and do I have a calling? The main seminal questions to start that off. But yeah, how do you distinguish between what's your opinion versus what's a conviction or a calling or a leading of the Holy Spirit for you to do something that God wants you to do? How do you figure out if that's God's will or if that's just something confusing that you've been taught forever and it seems like a part of you, and so on and so forth. So, that's February.
I'll be following that up with qualifications. What exactly makes a leader a leader? Can you be a leader? Like I talked about before, when we discussed last year's stuff, the qualifications for leadership are basically qualifications that all of us should have. And so the question is, if we all have most of those qualifications, what are we doing with it? Are you called into leadership? Are you not? What are the qualifications for that? So that's what we'll be discussing.
And then in April, we're going to be talking about training and equipping. What should a leader know? How can I learn the things a leader knows? These kinds of things. Smack dab in the middle of that is obviously Easter, so I'm sure that service will be geared toward leadership and training and equipping and what Christ gave us as a model and these things. So training and equipping in April.
And then next month we're going to be talking about diversity of leadership, and specifically talking about style. So different styles of leadership, the personal distinctions that people can bring. Is there a right way that a leader can lead? Of course, this will be my month, so we'll be talking about whether it's okay for leaders to offend. What must a leader conform to be a leader?
Then we got June again, where we talk about types of leadership.
Not to be confused with leadership styles,
Right.
which is month 4.
Types of leader, I guess, yeah. Anyway, an elder or a deacon or a prophet or a teacher, asking questions like, what types of leaders are there out there? What type of leader do I follow? What type of leader is it, good for me to follow or not good? Or what type of leader is best fit to me? And then lastly, of course, what type of leader am I? And what exactly do I do with that? How do I be an effective leader in that way?
Then to me, administration or basically different methods. So talking about specifically the mechanics of leadership, what tools are available to use, how to accomplish what you need to as a leader, how are you equipped properly, and in that regard, those types of things.
And then in August, the mentality of leadership. Did this thing get on here? How do I think about leading? How do I own my role as a leader? So just how a leader should be thinking and owning their role
And then in September, we'll actually be ending leadership for the year with the concept of what is the fruit of leadership. If somebody really is a leader in the church, if God recognizes them as a leader, what is the proper outcome of somebody who is a godly leader? And what type of fruit should be being produced by that person so that you can understand whether you are an effective leader or if that person really is from God. And so we're going to be discussing all of those things over the course of the year leading to September, and that will end for us our 5 years of sermons that we've been doing, which we will then end on 2 more months of talking. So in October and November, we will end talking about specifically what we started talking about 5 years ago, the concept of beauty. And specifically, wisdom, what is beautiful wisdom, what is beautiful maturity, what is beautiful education, and what is beautiful discernment. We'll be talking about those in October. And then in November, what is beautiful faithfulness, what is beautiful groundedness, what is beautiful accountability, and what is beautiful invested relationship.
Yeah, and then December conclusion, as per the norm, recapping all these things, recapping the year, recapping the 5 years. So we'll spend a few weeks doing that.
And then we'll be doing Christmas Eve and intro to 2020, where we will be introducing a new 5-year model called Vigilance, the watcher on the wall. So, anyway, that is your intro to 2019 and your outro of 2018. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we conclude? It's a lot there, right? There's a lot there. If you have any questions later on and you're like, I'd really like to look at, that sort of thing, to recap, we have all of these things available to you. You just got to ask us personally. We can send you the information so that you can look at it. None of this is secretive. None of this is,
And then, obviously, if there's anything that, if you're self-aware enough to be thinking about these things that we've been talking about this year, and, recognizing that you need to grow in any number of these areas, all of this stuff that we've been going over this year is online. It's on the sermon notes are online. You can find all that stuff, and the videos are on our YouTube page. So, yeah, feel free to tap into that resource. It's there for all of us.
Right. And so next week, when we begin our sermons and we start talking about leadership and proper, I'll explain this slide. The gas masked children. Okay, well, if nobody has anything else to say, then we're going to ask Elder James to pray for us.
I was actually prepared.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and close with a word of prayer. Father in heaven, once again, as we look back and reflect on the past year, we thank you so much for your continued guidance, for the growth that we've seen. We thank you how each and every month as we tackle a specific topic, we each had struggles and trials in that specific area in our lives. And I thank you that we were able to continue to work through those, as we will continue to work through those, so that through those trials we will become who it is that you've created us to be, Lord. As we look forward to the next year, just pray for that continued guidance for us all. As elders, we continue to seek your will, Lord, and for the path to be clearly marked for us. We thank you for always leading us down the path that will help us to be who it is that we need to be doing what it is that this church's role is in your church universal, Lord, to accomplish what we need to for your glory. And I just pray for your continued guidance in that. I pray for continued success for this church body and for each of us to continue to not just feel, but to understand and to see, how our relationship has grown with you over the past year, and look forward to that growth for the next year. Thank you, Father, for always being with us, for seeking after us even while we were sinners, and for the sacrifice that was made for your Son. And in victory over death in that regard. And I pray all of these things